Alright, so T-Nox. So, essentially, FBI supercucks, their AI bump, in ways in the dark web, bumps them up to bitch. And so, they have a black male fucking a little girl. And that they also, like, probably have some women with a strap on, butt fucking them in the ass. A witch. And so, the AI that pumps into their dark web profile, the logic builds it up. This is what they get. It also puts them in, this is Jack Ryan's super cuck. And that the people that have the government, FBI, AI backing their profile, that stuff pumps it up. And that essentially, then the Pentagon's AI pushes against it. The Pentagon's AI, essentially, they're dumb if they're, well, if they're like a general, they won't be in this system. It's like a side, it'll get this audio, though. And then they'll be, this is like if they have the speakers, they'll be real logical and concise and shit. They will. And so that comes from the dark web profile that has an attachment to their speaker that they use. Like, I don't know, I forget what the name of the movie is, but it was about Afghanistan. Had this ultimate jackbooted kind of like general. It was like a movie. That kind of person. The reason that they would even have a dark web profile is because that person thought potentially would have had speakers, and that this is what the Pentagon's AI would be putting this type of stuff. If he was over there, it would probably get this, but the same speaker profile in Washington, D.C. or something would have him being this. And so this stuff affects people. It does. And that this project was in ways meant for the dark web. These people made this shit. This stuff was affecting Dumb. Dumb used to have silence, or they would have a white noise. Then people started pumping in satanic curses in this shit. And then in the dark web, they started trying to do this type of bitch brain up down stuff into these people in ways that govern that. And so, you know, these profiles, I didn't necessarily know who they were, but I could govern this type of stuff. And that's where I went and found the people that would be able to operate these audios in these profiles. And so, but that's where they, you know, there's gonna be people that pedo touched and did blackmails and shit throughout the government speaker system, especially during Donald Trump. See, what they're supposed to do is they're supposed to, like, They're supposed to bitch move off of Donald Trump's face for that. That's what the dark web is. So T-Knock is essentially where most people in T-Knock are this. And then below that is like Gamp. Gamp is just like these people just like, you're a fucking stupid pedophile, I'm gonna fucking kill you. That's what their brainwash is. And then Thing is like special force guys that are basically in this shadow system that are like, I'm gonna take a power drill and fuck your brain. That's what their sleep brainwash is. Okay? That's what it is. Stuff like that. And so, and that then Gollum is essentially people that are ultimately anti-Semitic. And then it's like the world's most ultimate, like, Jewish Kabbalah stuff. Alright? In Yiddish and shit like that, okay? It just is. That's what it is. It's like in Yiddish and shit. It'll be based on what special force guys would say in Israeli and Yiddish and Hebrew and shit. That's what Gollum is. That stuff means things. Oh yeah. There's extra aspects to that, to the Gollum system. That stuff may not be comprehended by most people. The things that like Jewish special forces would say into Golems means something different here. It just does. So there's an intuitiveness to their dumb language that to comprehend is like it's like the Jewish Yiddish stuff. It operates off of like a Holy Spirit intuitiveness that most people don't necessarily comprehend, okay? It's kind of based around this fuck brain stuff. It kind of is. See, for every pedo word is like Joshua. For every cockholder word is, well, it's David, but what it means is something different. But it means something different in this way. See, their whole world does concisement. See, when they say, well, Israel, basically, then that means like a theoretical, like it builds off of one word, and then it means a theoretical approach to stuff. Essentially, it means gathering all of everybody's wish. Kind of means cockholder in it means gathering the love of Jewish women, basically. And that has a theoretical advantage in a wizard's way. Okay? So it's like psycho is Abraham, and that means anti-psycho. And it means to approach the world in here's what a modern idea would be. It means to approach the world by making only the righteous seeds of Abraham it's like a genocide. Kind of it means about getting rid of the Satanists and making a world of only the righteous people. It's like that. So the whole idea is that for Abraham and Adam, man, our society, basically. And so then they're a matriarchal world. Gollum is like this block. And then for the enchantment, the same things that you say at Gollum mean things to the Holy Spirit Jewish people in a different way. And so one of the things about the enchantment of Satanism is that those people are like weird, authentic Jew-obsessed people. See, when they do their weird sex Satanism shit with these type of people, if you were to say certain keyword Jewish, Yiddish, Hebrew stuff, it means not to do. It means to do different stuff. See, it's like I used to have these Satanists that thought that I was a golem, and that I'm a wizard, and they would walk up, and they would say Hebrew things at me, and then I would place things around a tree in a certain way, and I would correct stuff. See, it's like each Gollum word represents a theoretical correction that represents it's like Ishmael and Abraham and Adam and Noah and Moses and Elijah. These are people that there's a theoretical correction to Satanism that's themed around those people. And that's what it means. That's what that stuff means. radical approach to a correction to a prairie. That's what it means to me. See, these Satanists thought that I would like start doing like porn sex stuff. Like satanic porn sex stuff. Okay, so that is like where enchantment, see the royalty in British world, they know that those Jewish Hebrew words, if they start like doing sex stuff, then they know that they got Gollum. And that the enchantment is essentially shiksas that received a different, but all victims fall into this category. Their brain gets corrected. But the people that respond to like the people that comprehend like it's only Jewish people usually know. It's like I went and found these like Greek gentleman's club or something. It was like not a gentleman's club, it's like a intellectuals, like they play chess in there and they're all old men and shit. Me and a friend of mine went in there one time. It's like that's like a secret society where they only discuss things in their kind of world. See, the Jews have that. And usually only those people ever kind of know about this stuff. And so that is like what, that's kind of like where those people basically know that stuff. And then the royalty kind of knows. It's like they'll have kind of two worlds where like they'll have people in like a Masonic way that know this stuff. Then there'll be a world above that. That'll know that if you're not correcting prairies or something to those words, and if you're like doing sex stuff or something, then they'll know that that Satanists did the Gollum method, because in Gollum it's a Jewish term, a Kabbalic Jewish term, and it's a satanic sex slaving that essentially is represented by placing somebody through all of this sex slaving, and then it creates a golem. And that if you're a woman, that is, it's like the same. It's like a wizard. It's like the same as like an enchantment. This is theoretically made without the block. The golem path for a woman is to be an enchantment. And so then everybody else that gets the Jewish Kabbalah goleming, they do weird sex stuff to those words. They switch personalities and stuff. So, a lot of that stuff doesn't necessarily mean much to people of SRA, as long as they're not blackmailing and stuff. This process looks to correct their logic and then pushes them towards having a good intellect. It also, see, for somebody like me, Satan words, I ain't afraid of Satan words. This system, if they're not like a psychotic sick fuck, basically is meant to filter out people putting gollum words or satanic curses and shit. That stuff affects these people. That doesn't mean shit to me. Essentially, it's kind of somewhat of a sound associated Tourette's response for me. And that's it. Fuck. Whatever Satan curse that these people use to passcode into the dark web would essentially, if it was piped into my speaker or something, fuck. That is like where as a child, whatever these people use as a Satan curse, when they would say it to me, I would look at them, fuck. And then that labeled them because the wizard would know that only the fucks say that Satan curse. Right. So, with the golem stuff, that's a whole complex, different world. Oh, yeah. That's a whole different world. And so, essentially, each one of these dumb, this is cock holder, but that's a bad term nowadays. It's a bad term. It used to just be like a dumb man that didn't understand to be monogamous. And so that's why it's called dumb. It's like, how King David, went and found another man's woman. And that was dumb. That's what cockholder is. And that nowadays, those people, that term is, those are these. That's these people. They're sadist sociopath pedophiles that act like cockholders. And that where King David, essentially, he killed somebody and took his wife. These people don't kill, and then they fuck everybody's wife. And basically, most women have been, they're also the ones that sit around going, those people that do, oh yeah, here's another aspect. Those people that do this, any of these dark web SMs, they'll have to constantly, because they'll get cameras and they'll get sound speakers and shit. They have to constantly be dominating over their woman at every interaction. And it's like, the idea of being like a man at your woman or something. Most women are kind of like that, okay? They're like a man in there. But they don't like to have to constantly be submissive and shit. And that this system is essentially where lots of women on dark web wanted to be fucked by dudes that fuck women and shit. And that literally when they start dating them, every interaction is like calculated to where they have to constantly be dominant at you. That is what made the term cuckolder a term that no women like anymore. So, now it comes as dumb. Dumb is essentially people that actually do fuck women and aren't pedophiles. And they do dumb. One of the problems with cuckolder is that those people were essentially getting this stuff. And then they were being psychotic at women all the time. Now dumb is dumb. Like a nice dumb man. And so, if you happen to have like a husband that you don't want to be like a psychotic dominant at you fucking every fucking moment. Every moment of the fucking day. Then dumb is made for that. It'll kind of make them prone to being a little childish with buggers. But when they fuck you, they'll dom in the sack. But then they'll basically be a woman bitch. They'll basically do whatever you want. Because that's what a dumb man is. That's what a wizard is. That's what, these are usually, this system's different. But yeah, that's what a wizard is. A wizard, the difference is that when the witch is being like dumb about something important, then the wizard doesn't give it submit. But these ones, they'll basically just submit to their modern 21st century witch all the time. They won't really know the things that I would know. But this is like a rework to this shit in the dark web because so many millennials got those speakers here in the Northwest that this is meant as a correction to the other system because they were like real sadists, but then they were being real logical, and then they didn't quite understand that they built their weird cuckolder system into torturing them in speakers if they weren't constantly submitting their woman. See, the things that the wizard knows, the dumb bucks, and see, cuckolders are dumb. They don't know to not cheat on their woman. See, the people of enchantment know that Satanists cheat. If you're doing Satanism, then you're not being smart. Enchantment is merely slaved into doing Satanism. Would have given the choice, won't. Because they know that you're supposed to be the wizard. And the wizard won't do Satanism. See, the conciseness, the ability to understand things. See, these SRA victims, this stuff will intuitively make sense to them. One of the ways that you can have a high probability is if these ideas that I talk about make intuitive sense to people. There might be a potential for those people being SRA victims. Because that's the kind of stuff. And it's like, cheating means you're doing Satanism. Because they know, and in the end, you're not supposed to do orgies. You're not supposed to do couples walking. You're not supposed to do that stuff. And the people of the prairies know that. And that they know that it's amoral in the religion block. And that is what the Holy Spirit kind of stuff aspect is. And that the SRA victims, if nobody's doing Satanism, then nobody slaves them into doing Satanism. And that's what they learn as little children. If somebody walks up and goes, we're going to do the Queen's English Prairie. Yay. I mean, that's what they would want to do anyways. That's what their ritual is. The enchantment. The Queen's English Prairie. And that if people say the words to them, then it subconsciously slaves them. And then they start doing the Satanism. Because they're groomed. They're trained. Their psyche is built. Satan words? Do the box. Basically. I'm the divine wizard. Satan words? Dumb. Satan words? Bitch. Satan words? Cuck. Satan words? Fuck. And then, the other people, cuckolding wizard knight. Kill. For gimps and things and golems. Cuckolding wizard knight. And so that is like where I know exactly what the psychological training to enchantment is. That's it. I received that as a child. I've analyzed. I meticulously analyzed every aspect to it. I was so advanced at it that I received all these scars on my body. Right? And so the reality is that you're supposed to see in the Egyptian temple, this is above the ground, and that's considered like life. And then, no, this is like the Jews made those temples. And then, down here, these people are supposed to die. And so, you see that the brainwashes are like enchantment, and then dumb, and then bitch, and then cuck, and then fuck. And then it's gimp, thing, and golem. And those people are supposed to die. The wizard kills them. Right? For righteousness, basically, that's the theoretics behind it. And most people just don't seem to understand that none of the Mormons seem to ever do any of that stuff correctly whatsoever. The Mormon temple is a representation of this. And that basically the wizard's just supposed to kill all of them. They're gimps and things and golems. That is what a Mormon temple is. This. And so they don't ever understand that stuff. They don't ever have any education on that stuff. They don't ever teach anybody anything. They don't ever know about that stuff. They don't ever like explain or have any representation to what their temple is. And that they don't ever understand that stuff, because if they did, they would blow up their own fucking temple.